Deacon Sakari, we back at it like a crack addict. They done let them bruise in the dough in this wicked industry to shine the light. They done let them bruise in the dough. Oh shit. They done let them bruise in the dough. They done let them bruise in the dough. They done let them bruise in the dough. We ain't going nowhere. Hebrews. They done let them bruise in the dough. They done let them bruise in the dough. Look, Joe Biden need to free Dark Lo. The hell is wrong with dude? Hey, what's going on, everybody? Deacon Sakari, new clothing line, The Whole Armor. Put it on. New clothing line out right now. We got apparel for the sisters, apparel for the kids, and of course, apparel for the mighty men of Israel. We got quality material, affordable prices, y'all. Check it out. We got stuff for the Southern Kingdom. We got stuff for the Northern Kingdom. We got exclusivity. All right, y'all see it. Y'all see the brew drip. Y'all see the brew sauce. All right, Deacon Sakari new clothing line called thewholearmor.com. All right, everybody go support Israelite businesses, and I greatly appreciate y'all. Shalom. Cops hop out, we bail on them. Leviticus, I like my fish with scales on them. Ask Chief Ephraim, he could vouch. We be putting in the work while you sitting on the couch. Camp haters quiet as a mouse. Yeah, already shout out to my brother Austin Trout. Just as a reminder, if there's doubt, I wear every single fringe, even when I'm in the house. Get all your truth music at deaconsakari.com. That's 9 albums. We even got a couple free for y'all. Support the cause, y'all. I see a lot of haters. I knew it would come with it. Rap game full of evil and sin, and I don't want none of it. They bite my style. They just want to take it and run with it. Sakari Varsity Online Academy, specializing in Hebrew apologetics. Come learn how to defend the gospel. Email sakariseattle@gmail.com. Limited registration. Sakari.
We are the children of the one Yahweh.
The chosen.
Ye are the chosen of the one Yahweh. And he has given his laws to us. Now everything belongs to us. We above all nations, all nations.
What?
Above all nations, all nations.
Yeah.
We are the chosen of the one Yahweh. Above all nations.
We above.
Brought here from Africa, their ancestors brought here from Africa, are the Hebrew Israelites.
Covered by the blood, let's go. Covered by the blood, let's go. Covered in your blood, let's go. Covered in your blood, let's go. Been on my fast, pray, repent. Fast, pray, repent. Fast, pray, repent. Fast, pray, repent. Been on my fast, pray, repent. Fast, pray, repent. Fast, pray, repent. We blessing up, 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 we blessing up. We blessing up, 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 we blessing up.
Saint LaFlame, new album out on all platforms. Go check them out. Kwam Yasharala. We finally back on. Children's Bibles with black and brown images. I know a lot of y'all been waiting. A lot of people on back order. We still got some though. Put your order in before it's too late. I'm gonna start having them regularly, Lord willing. But get it in. Let's go. Hit me up. DM. Even your head wrap. Stay dipped. Stay brew dripping. All right. DeaconSakari.com. All right, y'all. Go to czyn.network. czyn.network. We done with Patreon. No more Patreon. czyn.network. You're going to get videos too hot for YouTube or early releases. So go sign up. Promo code Deacon Sakari. Promo code Deacon Sakari. Promo code Deacon Sakari. Not only do you get Deacon Sakari's content, you get Guerrilla Hebrew content, Hassad content, other camps putting their content on this platform. We need our own app, so sign up using promo code Deacon Sakari. CZ YN.network. It's our own app, our own platform. The white man can no longer subvert or hide or try to censor this truth. So sign up and get this heat. Promo code Deacon Sakari. Promo code Deacon Sakari. Promo code Deacon Sakari. CZYN. Praises. Get your commercial played here. Contact SakariSeattle@gmail.com. Introducing Super Thanks. YouTube has now added a feature where you can donate if you missed the live show by just clicking the heart button with the thanks on it. It'll be on every video. It'll highlight your comment to bring more attention to your statement. So if it's on your heart, super thanks. Shalom.
Popping mollies and putting powder in your nostrils. We be in the trenches, needles under benches. We be giving them the gospel. I keep 12 Sakari members with me. We be moving like apostles. True. Some stices is dead traps, hair rasp, but just still a thought though. The church don't even know the truth. They can even tell you an Israelite. And the Arabs selling you all the switches and the malt liquor are the Ishmaelites. You can show a nigga slave ships in the Bible, still won't get it right. Until the time's out, then a nigga gotta find out what them missiles like.
Mic check, mic check, mic check. Mic check, mic check. Pagan Easter podcast. The Pagan Easter podcast. Oh, shalom, everybody. Shalom. Peace, blessings, shalom. We back at it with another one. Hit that like button. Let's run this up like we ran the last one up. In the spirit of the Most High. All praises. What's going on, everybody? Dirt Freeze, Ak Bravo, Sister Katrina, El Gallo, Tribe of Judah, Lion of Judah, Rakal, Ra'amaya. What's going on, baby? What's going on? Everybody with the whole armor, Big G's. Shout out Big G's. All praises, Sister Alice in the building. Northwest. I see the Northwest Israelites in this thing. Unc the Saint. What's going on? Yaquab, Judah. Tribe of Judah. 4 tribes in this thing. All praises. Adiel. Hosea. What's going on with my people today? What's going on with my people? Issachar, Northern Kingdom. Strong donkeys in this thing. For the Most High. Sister Tanya, always a pleasure. What's going on with my people? All praises. Good to see everybody. Hit that like button. Let's start this off by giving Hurt 2.0. Real rapper, real stepper. Let's start this by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh. That's our Heavenly Father. In the name of His only begotten Son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, real name Yahushua in the ancient Paleo Hebrew. If you knew the truth, it would set you free. It starts with that name. It starts with acknowledging, that's respect, acknowledging the Creator and His Son by their true names. It definitely starts with that. But all praises to everybody in the chat. Hit that like button. What a good day. I'm so happy. I'm so happy. Joe Biden. Give Joe Biden a hand. Give Sleepy Biden a hand, damn it. He finally did something good. He took away our stimulus checks. He took away our child tax credits. He isn't even giving the He took away all of our hard-earned tax-paying dollars. Sent them to Ukraine. Sent them to Taiwan, and sent them to Israel. And now we're stuck over here in America in a Great Depression and inflation, where a loaf of bread is almost going to cost you $62, right? But Sleepy Joe Biden, he did something good today. Oh, he did something good today, Sleepy Joe Biden. He declared today, Easter Sunday, as Transgender Day Visibility. We'll get into what that means in a minute, but why am I clapping? Because the Bible said America is Sodom and Gomorrah. where there is going to be an influx and rapid spread and support for sexual deviancy, for sexual immorality. You heard? This place is Sodom. This is one of the reasons why the Most High and Creator of the universe said he was going to completely eviscerate this place because of the abomination in the midst of thereof. But oh, we love them because not only that, not only is this proof that America is Sodom, right? But this is also raining on the parade of that white supremacist cult and satanic religion known as Christianity. They're like, oh, why would he do this on Easter? Why would he do this on Easter Sunday? First of all, Easter is a pagan, evil, wicked holiday. Has nothing to do with the Messiah or who the world calls Jesus. Let's just make that clear. We're going to prove that in a second. Back during the 2nd and 3rd century, and if you were in the Sakari Varsity online academy specializing in Hebrew apologetics, just a couple months ago, we had our course dealing with all the pagan holidays, explaining their origins, how Christianity merged them in to the Bible, or how they were merged into the religion of Christianity, Easter, how Valentine's Day was merged into the religion of Christianity, how Christmas was the pagan holiday. Christmas was merged, and we went through it thoroughly at what time, why, and how. And the reason why Christianity did this, tried to merge all these pagan holidays into this religion, because they wanted the acceptance of the pagans round about the Middle East, the Levant, and ultimately worldwide. They wanted it to be the fastest growing religion. There's a lot of scholars that we sourced from and referred to within the courses that we went through on the Sakari Varsity, just explaining how and why and when, at what point did Christianity take all of these pagan holidays and try to say that they were biblical or had something to do with the Bible, but that is not the case. That is not actual and factual. So hit that like button, y'all, and let's get into it. Let's drop them bombs in the chat. We are about to get right, Terrio. Get right, Terrio. Right, Terrio. Okay. So yeah, all praises. Let's drop them bombs in the chat. We won't get into it, right? All right, so let me share my screen. Let me share my screen right now. Let's drop a couple bombs. Let's drop a couple bombs in the spirit of the Most High. Hit that like button, y'all. We need to get 1,000 people in here. We need to get a thou wow. Look at these guys tiptoeing through my house. Sakari Baltimore in this thing. Even though I'm still mad at you guys are on the verge. No, I'm playing. Yeah, get them bombs in the chat. All praise. I thought I changed this. Okay, there we go. Now let's deal with this. Before we get into what the proclamation is, we're going to explain this. We're going to look at the language of this bill that Joe Biden passed, and we're going to tell you what this means. And it's going to get bad. It's going to get bad. Now, this is a sensitive topic and a sensitive subject, so I'm going to ask you guys to not say anything too derogatory about the LGBTQ plus community, because you know how they are protected more than Black people when we are the ones in a genocide and have been in a 500-year genocide. Yet we have no legislative protection. So we have to be careful and we got to tread lightly, but we're going to get through it and we're going to get to it. So please refrain from harsh derogatory terminologies in the chat, please. And yeah, we'll just say transmissions. At certain points, we'll just interchange the word with transmission. All right. So now let's talk about this. Everybody's in an uproar because they're thinking Easter is some type of holy day. They're thinking that Easter is some type of holy day, right? So when you look at Easter, they're saying also called Pascha, Passover. That's a lie. Also saying Resurrection Sunday. So they're saying today is the day that Jesus resurrected. Y'all heard that? They're saying that today is the day that Jesus was resurrected. Now watch how stupid this is. We're like, oh, why would he do this on the most holy day? This is the day Jesus rose. How is this the day when Jesus rose, when he was killed on the Passover and resurrected in 3 days? That means it would have to be 3 days after the Passover. Now look at, even with their calendar. First, let's go prove that he died on the Passover. This is John chapter 19, verse 14. And it was preparation of the Passover. Jesus Christ is called the Passover Lamb. So he would have to die on the Passover, or he would not have fulfilled that prophecy or foreshadowing. And about the 6th hour, and he said unto the Jews, behold your king. And they cried out, away with him, crucify him. Pilate said to them, shall I crucify your king? The chief priests answered, we have no king but Caesar. Then delivered he him therefore unto them to be crucified. And they took Jesus and led him away. That's when he was crucified, Passover. Now, look at even on their calendar. This year, Passover is April 22nd. So even according to their Passover, which I don't agree with this calendar, we go by the lunar calendar, which is the Hebrew calendar. But even according to American standard and most of the world, Passover this year is April 22nd. But they got, which Jesus would have rose in 3 days from that date. But you got him rising up March 31st. Make it make sense. Oh, I get it, because it's April Fool's, man, the next day. April Fool's the next day. Right? Even from their own standards, it does not, this is a complete joke. It's economics, it's cultish, it's a business, and it's flat outright robbing the people and leading them astray. Deception. Deception from inception. We got Easter on the 31st. I thought you was eating Mac's plate. I was about to say, don't have him wake up going crazy in here. So anyway, they got Jesus rising up from the dead on the 31st when he died on Passover, but they got Passover April 22nd. Somebody make it make sense. This is exactly why I give Joe Biden a hand. He proved that America is Sodom, the most decadent society. The most decadent society of the world today, replicating and reflecting the ancient Roman Empire and the Greeks who preceded them, right? Solomon McFadden, what's going on, my brother? At the Waterford Super Chat donation, hit that like button, y'all. It ain't gonna charge your crypto. So they got to make it make sense. This is not a holy day. This is a pagan day. He did not die. He did not die or raised from the dead on this day. The Bible tells you what day he died and what day he rose. And even according to their calendar, it's off. What this is a tradition of man. And we're going to get into when they try to incorporate this pagan holiday Easter into the Bible and why. This Colossians chapter 2, verse 8. Colossians chapter 2, verse 8 says, beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit. You dummies, not only this in America, but around the world, have been spoiled through philosophy, false philosophies and worldly philosophies, such as pagan holidays being incorporated and associated with the Holy Bible. Right? Who keeps hearing y'all sinning? What do you, Tribe of Judah, please get him out of here. Tribe of Judah, we love you, but you got to go. Tribe of Judah, we love you, but you got to be timed out for 86,000 seconds. Time him out for 86,000 seconds, which equates to 24 hours. The Waterford Super Chatters greatly appreciate y'all. It's lawful to do well on the Shabbat. You can donate on the Shabbat. What is wrong with over-righteous Israelites? Now, in vain deceit. Because why is it vain deceit? It's meaningless to celebrate this day, Easter. There is no spiritual benefit. There is no monetary benefit. There's no mental benefit. There's no physical benefit. Easter bunnies don't lay eggs. Bunnies do not lay eggs. They take shits all over your lawn. I got a lot of bunnies out here. We got a lot of bunnies where I'm at. Bunnies don't lay eggs. Chickens lay eggs. Right? So it's vain deceit, meaning everybody should know this, and it's been proven, but you don't care. Just like with Christmas, December 25th, everybody knows he wasn't born in no dead cold winter. Sheep's all out, shepherds all out in the field, laying and sleeping with their sheep. He was born in the springtime. Nobody cares. Everybody knows that, but they still follow what? The philosophies and vain deceit. Excuse me. After the traditions of men and not of God, after the rudiments of the world. This is a worldly holiday, a carnal holiday, a wicked holiday, Easter that is. Rudiments of the world and not after Christ. You think you're celebrating the resurrection of Christ, but you're not. You're partaking in satanic rituals. What does this word for rudiments mean? What is this word for rudiments? Basic and fundamental elements, essentials. Basic principles of what? Of the world. You're basic. Hosea Israel, the water for the super chat, greatly appreciate you, right? Mark chapter 7, verse 7. Howbeit in vain they do worship me. This is a perfect example. I'm looking on my Instagram and I don't follow all Israelites. I'm not like you guys who are holier than holy, holier than thou. Your righteousness is like pure white rags. You're unspotted and without blemish. I'm not like you Israelites. I'm still a field nigga. So I don't follow all Israelites, and all Israelites don't follow me on Instagram. But I'm seeing this, I'm seeing hoes, right? Hoes on their way to church. Hoes on their way to an Easter egg hunt. I'm seeing codeine sippers on their way to church. I'm seeing adulterers on their way to church. This is, remember, yesterday was Saturday night. Yesterday was Saturday night. I know what these niggas and these hoes was doing because they put it on Instagram. So now they're in church just one day out of the year we're gonna go give Jesus glory, but you're really pill poppers, but you're really worshiping demons. That's why it says, in vain they worship me. Meaning they say, oh, we love Jesus, but you don't keep his commandments, you don't do anything he says. As far as I'm concerned, every nigga in the world, when he dies, he goes to heaven. Not one time have we been at a church funeral that said, Tyrone, let's pray that Tyrone can get some air conditioning while he's down there. Let's pray that Jamal can get a little bit of alkaline water while he's down there. Let's pray that Patricia can get some arrowhead while she's down there. Let's pray that Shaquita can get some Avion while she's down there. This whole world thinks they're in good standings with Jesus Christ just because they say his name, just because they know his name and know what he did. That's why it says, howbeit in vain they do worship me, teaching for doctrines the commandments of men. They're saying we're supposed to go to Easter. They're saying that that's a doctrine. They're saying Easter is biblical. They're saying that's a doctrine, but God said it's the commandments of men. Right? For laying aside the commandment of God, ye hold the traditions of men. So what does that mean? Instead of keeping Passover, and I'm talking about most of our people, like Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans who are stuck in this white supremacist cult known as Christianity, right? They say, to hell with the laws of God and the commandments of men. I'm sorry, to hell with the laws of God and the commandments of Moses that God gave to him. Let's keep the commandments of men, the traditions of men. Easter, Christmas, Halloween, Valentine's Day, St. Patrick's Day, Mardi Gras, Thanksgiving. This is what our people say. It says, for laying aside the commandments of God. They don't say, let's keep the Sabbath. Let's keep Passover. Let's keep Feast of Tabernacles, Feast of Unleavened Bread. Let's keep the New Moon Feast. Let's keep first fruits. Let's keep the Feast of Dedication, which is Hanukkah. They don't say that. So they lay aside the commandments of God to what? To hold to the traditions of men. No, let's keep these worldly, satanic, demonic holidays. You know why? Because doing evil things is more fun. Remember who said that? Do it because it's fun. Fun to do bad things. Do it because it's fun. Fun to do bad things. He's 12 years old and smokes with cigarettes. Y'all remember that? Do it because it's fun. Fun to do bad things, right? It's fun to do bad, but doing righteous can be looked at as burdensome, but God said that his commandments are not burdensome. Yet, on the contrary, they're rather easy to do. Right? So we're going to get into this. We're going to look at the language here, because guess what, everybody? I promise you, you heard it from me years ago. I told you they was going to put the LGBTQI, but remember, it has a plus there because that P is coming soon. That P is coming soon. And you should know what I mean by that. That P is about to get added on there. But we're going to read the language of this bill in a second. I want to prove, though, to our people real quick that, now look at this, right? Easter. I'm giving y'all a glimpse into the Sakari Varsity Online Academy specializing in Hebrew apologetics. Okay. Right? Yeah, the P, yeah, the P Diddy. There we go. Up next. There we go. That's what we're going to do. LGBTQIP plus, the P for P Diddy. Right? And we know if the P Diddy's there, that means everything is acceptable and okay. Right? Now, I want to talk about this real quick. So you Christians are you guys are in an uproar, especially Donald Trump. He thinks he's a Christian. You're not a Christian. You're just doing that for the electorals. Let's just be real, right? So I want to talk about this from my people who don't understand that this is not some holy day that Joe Biden is infringing upon. This isn't any religious impeding that he's doing. So let's deal with this, right? Easter. Do rabbits lay eggs? Do rabbits lay eggs? Hell no to the no. Easter, also called Pascha. It's not called Pascha because Pascha is in the Greek way of saying Passover. Easter has nothing to do with Passover. That's so stupid. Easter, they're saying Easter is when he rose. Passover is when he died. So it's nothing to do with it. This whole world is confused. How can you guys not see this unless God has blinded your minds? Easter is called Resurrection Sunday, but they're saying it's also called Passover. But he died on Passover. Give yourself a pat on the back and give yourself a hand if you just thank God that you're out of that white supremacist cult known as Christianity and no longer blinded by the God of this world who is Satan. Get him most high here. Right? Is a Christian festival and cultural holiday commemorating the resurrection of Jesus from the dead, described in the New Testament as having occurred on the third day of his burial following his crucifixion. This is so stupid. I mean, it's got to be beyond remedial and rudimentary for you to believe this. Written by the Romans at Calvary in 30 AD, is the culmination of the passion of Jesus Christ, preceded by Lent, a 40-day period of fasting, prayer, and penance. Right? Okay. Nowhere in the Bible, let me say it loud for you niggas in the back. Nowhere in the Bible does Jesus himself say to commemorate his death by an Easter egg hunt. Now, if you guys can find me that, I'll destroy this course in the Sakari Varsity. If you can find me that. He said to commemorate his death by celebrating Passover. He did not say celebrate his death by commemorating an Easter egg hunt and bunny rabbits. He said to commemorate his death by celebrating Passover. He said that. That's Bible. Luke chapter 22, verse 18 to 20 in the ESV. For I tell you that from now on, I will not drink of the fruit of the vine until the kingdom of God comes. And he took bread, and when he had given thanks, he broke it and gave it to them and said, this is my body, which is given for you. Do this in remembrance of me. This is the Last Supper that they're celebrating here, the Passover meal, not an Easter meal, the Passover meal. And likewise, the cup after they had eaten, saying, this cup that is poured out for you is the new covenant in my blood. So he did not say commemorate my death by Easter. He said commemorate my death by celebrating Passover. Now, this is a law that the Christians do not keep, even though Christ told them to do this. They want to celebrate all the pagan holidays because it's been embedded to that white supremacist cult known as Christianity for 17 to 1800 centuries. Boy, this is a glimpse into Sakari Varsity online academy specializing in Hebrew apologetics. A lot of times when I be on the Sakari Varsity, I'll be like, man, I wish I can take some of this stuff to YouTube. So you guys are kind of getting a glimpse of that right now in the Spirit of God, right? The modern English term Easter, cognate with modern Dutch Ooster and German Ostern, developed from an Old English word that usually appears in the form Eastron, Eastron, or Eastran, but also Istru, Istro, and Istre, or Iastra. Listen close, because I know a lot of Israelites got meme scholarship. Y'all need to know how the morphology of the word and the day evolved throughout time. Bede provides the only documentary source for the etymology of the word. In his 8th century reckoning of time, he wrote that Eosterum, Old English for month of Easter, Eostermanab, Old English for month of Eostra, translated in Bede's time as Paschal month, was an English month corresponding to April, which he says was once called after a goddess of theirs named Eostra, in whose honor feasts were celebrated in that month. So you have Easter as the goddess Eostra, celebrated around the same time as Passover. So what did they do, everybody? Like the devils they are. Let's merge Passover and this pagan Easter together so that we can get the pagans to join and accept this universal new religion rapidly growing known as Christianity. Eostra, the Proto-Germanic, is a West Germanic spring goddess. The name is reflected in Old English as Istra, dialect Istro, American and West and Saxon dialects, blah, 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 by way of the Germanic month bearing her name. She is the namesake of the festival of Easter in some languages. The Old English deity Eostra is attested solely by Bede in his 8th century work, The Reckoning of Time, where Bede states that during the month of April, the equivalent of the month of April, pagan Anglo-Saxons had held feasts in Eostra's honor, but that this tradition had died out by his time. This is 8th century. Germany, or the Germanic tribes, are all the way from antiquity. Germany is not a new country or nation. They go way back to even during the time of the Greeks, the Germanic tribes. This tradition pre-existed Christianity and the death of Christ. But that this tradition had died out by his time, replaced by the Christian Paschal month, a celebration of the resurrection of Jesus. In Latin and Greek, the Christian celebration was and still is called Pascha, which doesn't make any sense. A word derived from Aramaic Pascha, cognate to the Hebrew Pesach, which means what? Passover, commemorating the Jewish exodus from slavery in Egypt. How in the hell, when you celebrate Easter, see, I've been to church before, of course, and we all have. When we celebrated Easter, when we were celebrating that pagan, satanic idolatry in church, did we ever hear about how it was associated with the Exodus and Passover? No. The world has been turned upside down. If you agree with me that when you celebrated Easter, we never heard about the Passover meal or the Exodus or anything of that, which is supposed to commemorate, hit the like button if what I'm saying is correct. Because I went to church many, many times, celebrated Easter many times, whether I was a full-fledged nigga or trying to be Christian-like. As early as the 50s of the first century, Paul the Apostle, writing from Ephesus to the Christians in Corinth, applied the term of Christ, and it's unlikely that the Ephesians and Corinth Christians were the first to hear Exodus 12 interpreted as speaking about the death of Jesus. Why? Because he's the Passover lamb. A lot of the laws are foreshadowings. A lot of the feast days are foreshadowings of the Messiah. Not just about this Jewish Passover ritual. In most languages, Germanic languages, such as English being exceptions, the feast is known by the name derived from the Greek and Latin Pascha. Pascha is also the name by which Jesus himself is remembered in the Orthodox Church. I give the Orthodox churches a little more credit than the West. Why? Because they just are more, they're less hypocritical than the Western Church. Less satanic than the Western Church. Is green shit versus brown shit. Excuse my language. I'm just talking about fecal matter. Pascha is also a name by which Jesus was in the Orthodox Church, especially in connection with his resurrection and with the season of its celebration. Others call the holiday Resurrection Sunday or Resurrection Day, which makes no sense. Now, watch the permeation. Why the eggs, though? Why the eggs? Is Easter Ishtar? Why the eggs? You're going to see how evil this day is. And they're trying to make it godly and holy. I say, listen, if there's any Christians here, let me tell you guys something. There's no difference between Easter and Transgender Day. It's the same day, and it should always been the same day. It's the same day. Nothing. Neither of those days should be more honored or revered or esteemed over the other. Same day. Same level of satanic activity. Same level of satanic meaning. Same level of satanic vibration. But why the eggs? Ishtar. Let's talk about Ishtar. This is an archaeological piece depicting Ishtar, the goddess. The egg is an ancient symbol of new life and rebirth. This is their explanation. In Christianity, it became associated with Jesus' crucifixion. So, even with the eggs in Easter, before Christ came on the scene, the ancient world took eggs to be symbolic of new life and rebirth. Hence, the resurrection, new life, rebirth. So many levels and layers, you can see how evil this is. And Christianity became associated with Jesus' crucifixion and resurrection. The custom of the Easter egg originated in the early Christian community of Mesopotamia, whose stained eggs. Now, remember, you used to color your eggs, right? I colored them eggs before I knew the truth. That's going to explain to you why the coloring of the eggs. Who stained eggs red in memory of the blood of Christ shed at his crucifixion. You think these dumbass niggas who go to church one day out of the year know this? You can bet every dollar that you own they don't. Just a nigga, man. A nigga. As such, for Christians, the Easter egg is a symbol of the empty tomb. The oldest tradition is to use dyed chicken eggs. So you see the world still holding true to this ancient evil ritual or pagan ritual, which the pagans are evil. Now, Ishtar, Salakia, Ishtar, called the Queen of Heaven by the people of the ancient Mesopotamia, modern Iraq, was the most important female deity in their pantheon. She shared many aspects with an earlier Sumerian goddess, Inanna. The name Ishtar comes from the Semitic language of the Akkadians and is used for the goddess from about 2300 BC. On a multifaceted goddess, Ishtar takes three paramount forms. She is a goddess of love and sexuality, and thus fertility. This is why the eggs. So you can see the mixing of the Ishtar with the eggs and the name Easter from the ancient Germanic goddess Eostre. Why? Why do you just want to lay evil on evil on evil on evil and then make the world celebrate it unknowingly? Then say it's about this holy and righteous man named Jesus Christ. Why? They just burying niggas in evilness. This is why we say it's harder for a nigga to get out of Christianity than it is for him to get off of fentanyl and opioids and heroin. Because they are just smothering you with wickedness and evil and demonic activities to where there's a stronghold on you and it's almost impossible to break unless it's the Spirit of God that breaks those chains and that yoke. She is responsible for all life, but she is never a mother goddess. As a goddess of war, she is often shown winged and bearing arms. Her third aspect is celestial. She is the planet Venus, the morning and evening star. Hit that like button. If this is good information, hit that like button. There is clear connections. Clear connection. More egg worship or fertility worship. More egg worship or fertility worship. Ancient Egyptians believed in a primeval egg from which the sun god hatched. Alternatively, the sun was sometimes discussed as an egg itself, laid daily by the celestial goose Seb. This is crazy. So we got Babylonian, Germanic, and ancient Egyptian, and also Hindu concepts all merged together as one. And this is the day you guys are calling a holy day of God. All these cultures took something from the cultures that preceded them. All these civilizations took something from the civilization that preceded them, especially if you were a world power in the ancient world. The next kingdom would pick up from those customs. The phoenix is said to have emerged from this egg in Egyptology. The egg is also discussed in terms of a world egg, molded by Khnum from a lump of clay on his potter's wheel. Hinduism Hinduism makes a connection between the content of the egg and the structure of the universe. For example, the shell represents the heavens, the white the air, and the yolk the earth. The Khandagya Upanishads describes the act of creation in terms of breaking an egg, of the breaking of an egg. Now, look how evil this is. Easter in the Bible. Now, most translations take it out, right? But King James, because people believe that King James was black. I don't care if he was black, yellow, pink, or gold. He was a Christian who was influenced by Christianity, which is why his 70 scholars he commissioned put the English word Easter in there, when in the Greek it's Pascha or Passover. So in Acts 12:4, you see Easter here in the King James. But when you look at the Greek word for it, it's Pascha. You can see it here. So he should have translated it to Passover, not Easter. Just let you know he had some Christian influence. Now, when we click on the word that's in the Greek, it literally says Passover. It's used Passover 28 times and then one time Easter. Don't make no sense from a translational scholarly perspective. You will only find this in the King James. Look at the other translations. So you guys be trying to, excuse my language, I ain't gonna say it, but you guys be trying to, diss these other translations, but some of the errors in the King James, they fixed already. Look at the NIV says got Passover, where King James put Easter. The NLT got Passover where King James put Easter. The ESV got Passover where King James put Easter. The Berean Standard Bible got Passover when King James put Easter. So now let's look at the language of this law here. Let's take a look at this law here, this bill, this new bill that he just passed. This is on the whitehouse.gov. Whitehouse.gov. All right, this is on the whitehouse.gov. Let's talk about it, y'all. America is Sodom. America is Sodom. And we just thank Joe Biden. Give Joe Biden a hand for raining on a parade of these Christians who are really celebrating a wicked satanic holiday going back to the demonic pagans. And they're calling it Easter, Resurrection Sunday. Makes no sense. Make it make sense if he died on the Passover, and the Passover is supposed to be April 22nd, according to the Gregorian calendar and the calendar of the world, which I don't hold to. Make it make sense. So Joe Biden came and just rained on the parade of this white supremacist false cult known as Christianity. Give Sleepy Joe a hand, man. We need stuff like this to happen. Because remember, the Bible says America is Babylon, the most evil, wicked place, and is actually Sodom. So we need him to do more stuff like this, right? Let's take God completely out of America. Let's take God completely out of America. Let's take him completely out of America. Why? Because he hasn't been here. He was never here. When did they ever keep God's laws, statutes, and commandments in this country that was built on blood, rape, rob, murder, and genocide, huh? Let's make this what it is. Egypt, Sodom, Babylon, then the revised Roman Empire, as the Bible says. The beast that had the deadly wound and was healed. Let's take a look at this. Let's take a look at this bill. Huh? Let's take a look at this bill. So, a proclamation, this came out 2 days ago, a proclamation on Transmissions Day of Visibility. Right, Satan's seat, Satan's sanctuary here. On Transgender Day of Visibility, we honor, look at the, okay, remember, I'm asking you guys to please type politically correct comments in the chat because they may have some beef teriyaki. They may got beef teriyaki when we talk like this, right? Somebody says if we don't like transmissions, go back to Africa. Well, we were stolen from Africa and we were brought here. So we will go back to Africa once you go back to the Caucasus Mountains of Georgia, Russia. Once you go back to the caves of Europe, we'll go back to Africa. How about that? Furthermore, our indigenous brothers who are our same ethnicity are from this continent and they said we can be here, but they don't want you here. So what you can do is unsew the rod that you sewed on your body and stick it in your mouth. Pause. But no pause, because that's what you guys, your whole community is doing. Crazy stuff like that. Anyway, got him. So on Transgender Day of Visibility, we honor the extraordinary courage and contributions of transgender Americans and reaffirm our nation's commitment to forming a more perfect union. You hear that? So what I always wondered was, how can I sometimes get looked at as a complete and total monster, an abnormal individual, an eccentric person because I have multiple wives. They don't say thank you, we honor your extraordinary courage for wanting to be fertile and practice your ancient customs and culture of polygyny. They don't say we honor your extraordinary courage to, repopulate the world and, marry single women and lead them and guide them in the right direction. We get looked at as monsters, but if I was a transgender, they would say, hey, we honor your extraordinary courage for coming out and your bravery to choosing your pronoun and your gender and who you want to be. Right? You walk down the street with 3 women on your side, they're like, ooh, kill him, put him to death, put his babies to death. If you walk down the street, if a grown man walks down the street with 3 women on his side, put him to death, kill him. He's evil, he's wicked, he's wrong. But if a grown man walks down the street with a pink thong on, a pink thong going up his ass crack, they say, oh, you get it, slay, slay, slay. What is it giving? What is it giving? Slay, wake and slay. If a man walks down the street holding another man's hand, the world says, do your thing. Y'all look good together. Y'all look good together. Do it. Do it. Right? Ski it. Right? Because this is an upside down, backwards society. Virgins get laughed at, adulterers get applauded.
It's an upside down. Divorce is commended. It's an upside down society. Y'all think I'm gonna get in trouble for what I said? Man, shit, I ain't gonna lie. You know, it's crazy because this place is supposed to be in God we trust, right? In God we trust. Which God? Now you can't. Now they're saying it's this God because when Joe Biden took office, he placed his hand on the Bible. So they're saying it's this God, the God of the Bible. But with the God of the Bible, condone such day. And the question is over his dead body. Now look at this. Really look at the language, y'all. Really look at this language because something's coming down the pipeline in the future. This will be the normative. This will be the normative. So he wants a perfect union in this country, but you're not going to get a perfect union in this country. I'm going to explain why. Not only do you have the fastest growing religion called the Israelites, but you also have these Bible Belt Christians who are not happy about this decision. So you won't see a perfect union here. You already got Donald Trump lambasting you over this. It says where all people are created equal and treated equally throughout their lives. Now, if that's the perfect union you wanted, why don't Black people get reparations? Why don't you take Native Americans off of reservations? Why don't you protect us in the legislation? Why the economic disparity? Why the economic gap? Why the achievement gap? Why redlining? Why gerrymandering? Why gigantic flaws in the criminal justice system? Why lack of resources in our communities? If you wanted a perfect union, if you wanted equality in this egalitarian society. I am proud that my administration has stood for justice from the start, working to ensure that the LGBTQI community can live openly, in safety, with dignity and respect. We are living in a country where this community has more rights and protection than the people who built this place and were enslaved for 500 years. But not just that, a dog and a cat, a gerbil has more protection in this country than the people who built it, run it, and who were done the most unjustly in it. Now, I don't know what this I is. If anybody can tell me, let's Google it. What does the I stand for? Oh, intersex. intersex, and then asexual. So it's lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, intersex, and asexual. Intersex meaning a person is born with reproductive or sexual anatomy that doesn't fit the box of female or male. With dignity and respect, I am proud to have appointed transgender leaders to my administration and to have ended the ban on transgender Americans serving openly in our military. So let's say you get a transgender president. Do they swear in on the Bible? I am proud to have signed historic executive orders that strengthen civil rights protections in housing, employment, healthcare, education, the justice system, and more. I would love if we got this same type of protection. That would be great. The same type of resources. This place is finished. I am proud to have signed the Respect for Marriage Act into law. So who's going to marry them? Your church has to marry them. If you're under that 501c3 and two of these people come into your church and want to be married, you're obligated to do so. Ensuring that every American can marry the person they love. Transgender Americans are part of the fabric of our nation. Whether serving their communities or in the military, raising families, or running businesses, they help America thrive. Now, I'm gonna be real with you guys. Do I believe he wanted to do this? Absolutely not. It's election time and he's already getting blown out of the water by Donald Trump. Let's just be real. And this is just an attempt to get this community and the rest of these liberals and Democratic to vote for him come election time. They deserve and are entitled to the same rights and freedoms as every other American, including the most fundamental freedom to be their true selves. But extremists are proposing hundreds of hateful laws that target and terrify these kids and their families, silencing teachers, banning books, and even threatening parents and doctors. So in your schools, you're going to start seeing more, information in classes and teachers who identify and who are a part of this community teaching your children. These bills attack most of our basic American values: the freedom to be yourself, the freedom to make your own healthcare decisions, and even the right to raise your own child. That's why the Bible says this is mystery Babylon. The word Babylon means confusion. Confusion will never be the norm, at least not the majority on the earth. It's no surprise that the bullying and discrimination faces worsening in our nation's mental health crisis, leading to committing suicide past year. At the same time, an epidemic of violence against them. And what about the violence against us when there's no comparison. A black man is gunned down every 28 hours unarmed by a white cop. This isn't happening. Let's just be real. It's not happening to these guys. We're over 70% of the prison population. We're the lowest under the poverty line, the highest unemployment. This is crazy. Today we send a message. You are loved. You are heard. You are understood. You belong. You are American, and my entire administration and I have your back. This is cold. This is cold. Revelation 11:8. And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt. We broke this down many, many times. The great city being Babylon, the last kingdom to rule before the Messiah. That's America. But it's spiritually called Sodom. And you can see why. Fair use, this is going to be our thoughts and comments on this content. Fair use, this is going to be our thoughts and comments on this content that we're about to play here.
Taking you out to Washington, D.C., giving you a live look out at the White House now at 8:41 on the East Coast. And we are following some breaking news as it relates to President Biden. According to our content partners over at the Associated Press, President Joe Biden is facing criticism this morning from Donald Trump's campaign and religious conservatives for proclaiming March 31st, which corresponds with Easter Sunday this year, as Transgender Day of Visibility. The Democratic president issuing the proclamation Friday, calling on all Americans to join us in lifting up the lives and voices of transgender people throughout our nation and to work toward eliminating violence and discrimination based on gender identity. Again, that quote coming from the Biden White House as we work to give you all of these events here on Live Now from Fox. I actually want to show you a White House proclamation as it relates to this. There it is on your screen, showing you what I just read off. We do know, though, back in 2024, as it relates to this year, the March 31st designation overlaps with Easter today, one of Christianity's holiest celebrations. Trump's campaign accusing Biden, a Roman Catholic,
Biden, a Roman Catholic. A Roman Catholic. Now it makes much more sense. Because we know what them Catholic priests are into. Now it makes much more sense. Right? It makes much more sense now.
Insensitive to religion, and fellow Republicans piled on. They say, quote, "We call on Joe Biden's failing campaign and White House to issue an apology to the millions of Catholics and Christians across America who believe tomorrow is one for celebration only, the resurrection of Jesus Christ." That quote coming from the lady there on your screen. As we know, the Trump campaign's press secretary, that's who she is. She assailed what she called the Biden administration's years-long assault on the Christian faith. Now, she wasn't the only person to speak up. House Speaker.
If he's a Catholic, how is it an assault on the Christian faith? Isn't he a Catholic?
Johnson also saying on social media that, quote, "The Biden White House has betrayed the central tenet of Easter and called the decision, quote, outrageous and ridiculous. Now, actually, White House spokesperson Andrew Bates said the Republicans criticizing Biden are seeking to divide and weaken our country with cruel, hateful, and dishonest rhetoric, a tactic he says is being used amid this election season. But as we continue to follow breaking news and top stories on this Easter Sunday, sharing this with you as there is some controversy this Easter Sunday this morning. As we know, Biden has declared Transgender Day of Visibility set for March 31st, which this year falls on Easter Sunday.
So what you have today is you have, they're doing a lot of marches. They're doing a lot of marches. They're happy today. How to celebrate it. How to celebrate it. It's a day celebrating non-binary individuals in America around the world. Recognition. Who is a black, of course. Look at this, y'all. Now, who do you think is gonna be the face of it? Who do you think is gonna be the face of it, guys? Who do you think is gonna be the face of this day? A bitch ass nigga. That's who's gonna be the face of this. Look at this. So it says, it's all about trans joy, said Tori Cooper, the director of community engagement for Trans Justice Initiative at the Human Rights Campaign Foundation. Cooper, who was a black trans woman, says that even in the worst political climates, individuals and organizations are working to make sure trans joy continues to spread. You guys, we need our God, man. We need our God. We need our God. We need our God. We need our God to send his son. Caitlyn Jenner, look at this. Look at this. This is hypocrisy. Caitlyn Jenner disgusted over Trans Day of Visibility being on Easter. What? Caitlyn, you were the first one to really kick off this wave. Caitlyn Jenner, a trans woman, wrote on social media Saturday that she is disgusted with transgender visibility at Easter this year, the annual event held on March 30th. I'm absolutely disgusted that one of the most holy of holy days, a Celtic playing, it says it. Yeah, it's meanwhile, CNN put this article out today. Did y'all see this article today from CNN? Did y'all see this article today from CNN? Some transgenders love Jesus so much that they're mad that this day falls on Easter. Some of them love Jesus so much that they're mad that this day fell on Easter. Anyway, this article was put out by CNN today in light of Vladimir Putin disclosing the Black Jesus article or archaeology that he had. The I forget what it's called. So you guys see this right here? That is a picture of a Black Jesus. This came out today on CNN today. A mural of Black Jesus at St. Cecilia's Catholic Church in Detroit, Michigan. Was Jesus a man of color? Why this question matters more than ever. From today. From today. Right. First Putin, now this. Christina Cleveland spent much of their childhood in evangelical church surrounded by traditional images of a porcelain skin and flaxen haired Jesus, meaning a blue-eyed, blonde-haired white Jesus. But one day she came across a portrayal of Christ that was so astonishing that she gasped, "A Black Jesus? I'm an atheist now." It was a painting of a resurrected Jesus surrounded by his awestruck disciples, including doubting Thomas, touching the wound in Christ's torso. The painting looked like an ancient relic discovered in some long-forgotten desert monastery in the Holy Land, a Byzantine-style fresco filled with sharply contoured figures bursting with colors of deep blue and blood orange. But it was another color in the picture that caught her eye. Jesus was depicted as a man of color, somewhere between brown and black. And so, were his disciples. The truth coming out left and right, huh? Cleveland, who will go on to become a theologian and a social psychologist, realized she had always pictured a Nordic-looking Jesus who looked like Thor. Now she realized that he looked more like her, a Black woman. The Hebrew Israelites been telling your black ass this for the whole damn time, my dog. For Cleveland, changing the color of Jesus changed how she viewed the meaning of Easter. When I see the Easter story, I see Jesus being a victim of a state-sanctioned violence. Get his sister, whoever this sister is, give her a damn hand, man. Give his sister a hand. She trying to wake up out of her sleep. She fighting her sleep, trying to get out of the coma, sister. Deacon destruction mode. I see Jesus surrounded by black and brown people who wish they could do something but had no power in the moment. Why? Because this is true. The Romans, who were Edomites, Caucasians, subjugated, oppressed, and had captive the Israelites during the time of the Messiah. So yes, we had no power, sovereignty, or autonomy. In fact, not only was the Romans over us, they put a tetrarch over us as well, and King Herod was over us. Double oppression. So now she's the author of God as a Black woman. Why would she put that though? You know what? It's okay. Our people are waking up. We don't expect them to know fully what's going on, but they're waking up. Any resistance to the white power structure is good resistance for me. Any resistance to this white power structure is good resistance with me. And I see people being victims of a system, just like here. This is why you got the Book of Clarence. The Book of Clarence gives you this same theme here. Can't see their full humanity and assumes the worst of them, And yet there's hope in the end, she says. The universe does not bend towards justice, even though the arc is long. This is why God said he is slow to anger, but he will not at all acquit the wicked. They will not go unpunished, even though justice seems so prolonged. As Christians worldwide celebrate the resurrection of Jesus today, which is retarded, this is transgender. This is not Easter. This is Transgender Day of Visibility, and y'all gonna put some respect on this day, you Americans, because I'm not American. But you Americans gonna put some respect on this Transgender Day of Visibility, damn it, because it's written in law and legislation. You heard? Easter takeover. Cleveland points to an uncomfortable truth. The true face of the historical Jesus looked nothing like the one many still see in their churches, stained glass windows in Hollywood movies, or image that they carry in their minds. Right? Many scholars and archaeologists now agree that Jesus was most likely a brown-skinned, brown-eyed man. Look at this shit, though. This is what I hate. Oh, he was brown. The Arabs are brown. They're trying to say he's brown as an Arab, but not brown as in a black man, as a Negro. Naya at the water for the super chat donation. Greatly appreciate you. All praises. So they want to say a Middle Eastern Jew or Arab man. Look at that. Stop with the games, man. He was a so-called Negro. Excuse me. A commentator once said that if Jesus was taking a fight today, he might be profiled for additional, oh my bad. If he was taking a flight today, he might be profiled for additional security screening by the TSA. Corny. He would be killed in the streets. He would be killed over there on MacArthur or Martin Luther King or Rainier Valley. Some may counter with the big, so what? The debate over the color of Jesus is one of the oldest running arguments in religion. Listen, if it didn't matter, why is that pale face plastered everywhere in America? If it didn't matter, we don't see the Chinese Jesus everywhere we go. We don't see an East Indian Jesus everywhere we go. We don't see an African Jesus everywhere we go. We don't see a Mexican Jesus everywhere we go. We see a white Jesus everywhere we go. So to them, it mattered to sear it into your mind that white is synonymous with purity and holiness. Why they say black skin is a curse, when it's the total opposite. As a man who was raised in a black church with the giant portrait of a white Jesus hung behind the pulpit, now that's just, I mean, I'm over how angry I am at how stupid my people are, because I get it. Willie Lynch syndrome, Stockholm syndrome, they don't get it. Plantation Christianity, they don't get it. They don't get it. Black people are the most unintelligible when it comes to religion. Everybody's God looks like them except for the Negro, man. But when you start to say black power, ethnic pride, racial empowerment, but you got your God behind you as a white man, you just can't be taken serious. You need to be unalived. You need to be unalived. I recall many heated arguments in the barbershops and cookouts where armchair theologians insisted that Jesus was black by citing scriptures like Revelation 1 and 14, where it says the woolly hair and feet of bronze. Who can forget when the former Fox News host Megyn Kelly declared in 2013 that Jesus, like Santa Claus, was a white man too, and that's a verifiable fact. That was funny. A remark she later said she meant as a joke. But the question over the color of Jesus' skin is a serious one this Easter for two reasons. First, while the classic European Jesus remains a popular image today in some churches, a movement to replace the white Jesus has long taken root in America. I hope she mentions about the Israelites here. Let's see if let's type in the word Israelites. Hebrew, no, that's not in it. Of course, she ain't gonna say nothing about us. Israelites, Israel. I am so sick and tired of people making an issue of what color Jesus was, or what color were the 12 tribes of Israel, or God's white or black. Okay, so I don't think she mentions us, but I can guarantee you she's drawing from our worldview. Progressive mainline churches, churches of color shaped by liberation theology. She's talking about Dr. Eric Mason. Type in BHI. Yeah, let me type in BHI. Nope, that's such a derogatory statement. Yeah, so she's talking about Dr. Eric Mason in the woke church. And among biblical scholars, conspicuous displays of white Jesus are considered outdated and to some offensive. In a rapidly diversifying multicultural America, more Christians want to see a Jesus that looks like them. I'm so glad I don't have to be politically correct and I can say whatever I want to say, at least without the so-called swear words. Type in niggas with Bibles on the corner, and that might pop up. But in some parts of the country, the white Jesus never left. The spread of white Christian nationalism have flooded social media feeds with images of the traditional white Jesus, sometimes adorned with the red MAGA hat. Former President Trump is selling a God Bless the USA Bible. Wow. With passages from the Constitution and Bill of Rights, a linking of patriotism with Christianity that reinforces a white image of Jesus that is central to Christian nationalism. This will always, I know there's statistic studies that say that in 40 years, America will be mostly Latino, but I don't give a shit. I'm gonna tell you why. You could be mostly whatever. You're not the 1%. The power structure will always be white supremacy. You're not in power. You're not in legislation. You're not in judicial. You're not in executive. You're not in the Fortune 500 countries. You're not in wealth. Population does not mean, majority populace does not mean you run a goddamn thing. Shamira Israel, the water for the super chat donation, greatly appreciate you. Look at this cracker. Bunch of crackers. Look at this, just a cracker. The damn duck hunter's coat on. Dirty F1 pickup overalls. Second, there's a new debate. There's a new debate about the identity of the historical Jesus. Some critics of the Israel-Hamas war are declaring that Jesus was a Palestinian Jew. Man, why can't I ever get these conversations? I literally have to pay people for good conversations now. Palestinian Jew is Arab. The Messiah was an Israelite. Anyway, an assertion that at least one biblical scholar says is false and reprises an ugly historical pattern of using Jesus against Jews once again. Excuse me. Not everyone wants a part of this debate. Exactly. Some Christians roll their eyes whenever they encounter a question about his appearance. They say the Easter story has nothing to do with the color of Jesus' message. Do with color and Jesus' message. They cite scriptures like Galatians, there is neither Jew nor Gentile, neither slave nor free. There are also those who are religiously neutral and religiously neutral and wonder why people have to bring race into everything. As one exasperated commentator said, we're not bringing color doesn't denote race. There are many races who hold the same color. We're just talking about the color here. They're so scared of the truth. So scared of the truth. Been asking these Christians for decades, would they worship the Messiah if he was black? They try to say yes. That's a damn lie. All right, then go put a black picture of Jesus in your church and see how many people leave your congregation. Replace that white Jesus with a black one and see how many people leave your congregation. So it says, I'm so sick and tired of people making an issue of what color Jesus was, or what color were the 12 tribes, or if God is black or white. For me, I personally don't care what color in it. Well, why don't you say that to the people who plastered white Jesus everywhere, even on the moon? Go tell them that. Now look at this dummy. There's no verses in the Bible that I know of that make an issue out of skin color of the people in the Bible. Yes, it does. It tells you what color the Israelites are. It tells you what color their skin is. So it's not some metaphorical, symbolic thing. It's that their skin was black. Now we know certain words in the Hebrew can't correspond with English terminology words, but they were of color. Sister Jasmine, the Waterford Super Chat, greatly appreciates you for dropping that dub on the ministry. Right, somebody said, we never made it about race. They did. Well, it is about race in the sense of salvation and who God chose. He did choose an ethnicity called the Israelites. That's true. Now, all this happening right when this eclipse is about to happen. Now, do I believe it? There could be an immediate catastrophic event? Possibly. Could there be a sequence of events? Possibly. But it's just crazy that all of this is happening around this time. And the Bible does say that events in the heavens are for signs of things that will happen on the earth. So I hope you guys got your house in order and you're ready. But all you rebellious Israelites, you wicked Israelites, you lukewarm Israelites, you evil Negroes who are playing both sides of the fence, you wicked wives, you wicked runaway wives who are going to be left out there with no help. I hope everybody is getting their house in order. I'll tell you one thing. I can only speak for my house and my organization. We sure as hell are. And I don't mean getting your rifle and your canned goods and your damn plastic bottled waters. You know, you should have some of that, but the Bible says that's not what's going to save you. You keeping God's laws and statutes and commandments to your best ability and being in right with the Most High, that faith is going to save you. Those other goods and resources will hold you off for a second, but they're not going to stop you from United Nation tanks and sonar radar and heat sensor visions and helicopters shooting 50 caliber bullets at your little rifle, bombs getting dropped on you, you're not going to be able to fight against them. You heard? Hosea Howard at the Waterford Super Chat donation. Really appreciate you. Says I was trying to find the new lunar calendar, but with unaccepted, hit me. I got the new lunar calendar, Sakari's official calendar. I got it. Reach out to me. I'll get it for you and get it to you. Continuing, what's missing in many of these debates over Jesus' skin color is a more nuanced perspective from thoughtful people on both sides. Here's what they say. I gotta tell you guys something. If you want to learn how to read like this, would you guys say I'm a good reader? If you want to know how to read like this, sometimes I'll be so surprised with how well I can read with fluidity. Read more. Read more. This is what I tell people all the time. They say, Deacon, how you read like that? Read more and read out loud. Read more and read out loud. Today on social media and internet views. Warning comes before destruction. Better learn to move like a ghost. Sneak and peek. Look at Raquam. You know, Raquam speaking like a real ex-military factor in this thing. The law protects man and woman, not male and female, or he or her. I'm not sure what you mean by that, Aurelius. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Strobe get the water for becoming a Sakari flexer. All praises. Why some say Jesus' color doesn't matter. Healer Christ reproduced an estimated 500. Look at this. This is. Oh my God! Look at this. Look at this. I never knew these statistics. I'm gonna use these in this argument. I'm gonna use this point in this argument. Right? Warner Sallin may be the New York Times called the best known artist of the 20th century, but he's not considered one of the masters of his craft. His status rests on a remarkable painting, The Head of Christ. Right? It's been reproduced and estimated, listen up, guys, 500 million that's just his painting. 500 million times. This painting has been reproduced 500 million. That's just his painting. 500 million times. That's just an estimate. 500 million times. Almost twice the people of America would have had this picture in their homes. That devil's going to hell with gasoline draws on. Warner Salmon. Now, there's other portraits as well, but this is the most famous one. I think that was mid-1900s. Somebody said my grandma had that exact photo. Man, my grandma did too. It must be nice to just be able to paint a homosexual and get rich. It must be nice to paint a homosexual, because that's what this is, and just get rich off of it. Sakalo, bring it out, brother. At the water for the super chat donation, dropping that half a yard on the ministry. But man, this white supremacist world, they got it so easy. You paint a homosexual, you get rich. He said that, oh, look at this. Solomon said the painting was divinely inspired. See, there's certain things I'll go to jail for. I'm not going to say one. You guys will see when I see a certain individual. I'm not going to say it because that means it's premeditated. But there are certain things certain things and certain people I will go directly to jail for. So apparently this painting is divinely inspired. God came down and showed this guy a vision, something divinely inspired that goes directly against what the biblical depiction of Jesus. Even if you said Revelation 1 was in his glorified state, because this is some Christians' arguments. They say, yeah, Revelation 1 says he had woolly hair and skin of brass, but that was in his glorified state. That wasn't what he looked like when he walked the earth. Oh, so he walked the earth as a white man, and then when he went to heaven, he turned into a black man. This is what these dumb Christians say. And even if they're not saying it directly, this is what they're inferring. This is their inadvertent conclusion. You guys are reading when he went to heaven. The nigga walked the earth. But and guess what? Guess what you're saying? So in your when black skin is when you're in your glorified state. In your earthly state, you're white. But when you go up to heaven and you get in your glorified state, oh, nigga, you turn black. That's what you're saying. This painting is from the 1900s. So he said it's divinely inspired. He was a commercial illustrator who was struggling to sketch a portrait of Jesus for an evangelical magazine one late winter night in 1924. So early 1900s is when this depiction that has been reproduced 500 million times. And that's just an estimate. I'm going to say the books are cooked. You guys are lying. 1 billion times. 1 billion. Y'all trying to downplay this white supremacy. That's why I say Christianity is a white supremacist cult. A lot of people get mad at me, but Jesus is white. The Father is white. You guys believe those Jews over in Israel are the true Jews? They're white. You Google Abraham, he's white. You Google Moses, he's white. Google the damn Pharaoh of Egypt, he's white. The Canaanite woman, she's white. Certain people in the Bible that are Hamites, you Google them, they're white. Angels are white. Satan, only thing that's not white is what's supposed to be white, and that's the devil. Only thing that's not white from the Bible that should be white is the devil. Because the white man, woman, and child is the goddamn devil that the Bible speaks of. Let's go back here. Suddenly this man, hey man, if I could see you, man. Suddenly, so he's explaining, yeah, Ethiopians white, Cushites white. When Egypt means burnt face, and or what's that? Ethiopia means burnt face. Kemet is the black land, but they're white when you Google. So he's given a testimony of how Jesus appeared to him in 1924 to produce the most circulated image of Jesus Christ. So suddenly there appeared to my mind's eye a picture of the Christ, just as if it were on my drawing board, he said. Yeah, Adam and Eve is white. Adam and Eve is white. All right, we're done. We know that white supremacy reigns supreme in Christianity and the world. So, which he later adapted into an oil painting of a light-haired, blue-eyed Jesus with Nordic features. Solomon was the son of Scandinavian immigrants. It's a prime example of what critics call the white Jesus. It was released in the mid-20th century America during an era of fervent patriotism. Record church attendance and hysteria over the perceived threat posed by the Communist Party. Thousands of wallet-sized copies were distributed to American soldiers during World War II. Now, how did this image get so big? Now, I believe this is gonna happen again, but the true revealing. Now, I could be wrong. This is just my opinion here that I'm about to say. America went crazy thinking that they were going to be invaded and the government was going to be overthrown by communists. So they all wanted to turn to Jesus and Christianity, right? So everybody looked to this image, prayed to it, bowed to it, put it in their homes, put it in their church. Wallet-sized photos. All the soldiers had it. Now there's going to come a time which you see the whole world going crazy off of this, the true image of Christ, starting with that Vladimir Putin video resurfacing. Now it could be a time where they try to look to the Black Messiah, but it's going to be too late. It's going to be too late. It was so iconic that to combat card-carrying members of the Communist Party, one American minister wanted every Christian to carry a small print of Solomon's Christ in their wallets. Co-author of The Color of Christ. The version of America has since changed. But there are some who say Jesus' color should stay the same, or that it doesn't matter at all. Look at this nigga, man. Look at this nigga, man. This nigga, first of all, you got the woolly hair and skin of brass that had burned in the furnace, right? And it says his hair was white. Look at the irony in this. This nigga is the exact depiction of what the Bible says Jesus looked like. And this nigga got this in his hand. Today's going to be a good day. Tonight's going to be a good night. I got a feeling, that tonight's gonna be a good night. That tonight's gonna be. Sometimes you gotta just sing to yourself, because these niggas, man, why do you think Jesus had gray hair at 33 years old? Because a nigga, man, having to deal with a nigga is unexplainable. It's ineffable. Christina L. Barr is a minister and author who has worked in Republican Party politics. She says that the message of Easter is bigger than any individual color. All people are sinners, and Jesus died for them all, regardless of their skin hue, she says. That's a lie. First of all, Christina, you're a minister. The Bible says you shouldn't be teaching anything. Heaven isn't exclusive for the rich or fair-skinned, Barr tells CNN. God's arms are outstretched to all. That's another lie. Is his hand stretched out to the Edomites? Because there's a prophecy that says he's going to destroy all of them. Are his arms stretched out to them? Barr says that some people who say they want a black and brown Jesus may want his melanin, but not really want his message. Christianity does not teach the message of Jesus Christ. His message was saying, don't be like the Gentiles. They pray all day long. If somebody does something wrong within the Jewish community, kick them out and treat them as a Gentile. Oh, and the Gentiles are dogs. Oh, I'm coming back to put a crisis on the Gentiles. I did a video called 10 Reasons or something why Jesus didn't like Gentiles. And those are all scriptures in the New Testament. God forbid I go to the Old Testament. In a column of Black Tea News, the online site where she is the CEO, she imagined if Jesus returned to contemporary America as a black man. Uh-oh. There will be initial excitement among some people until Jesus started preaching about giving up sexual immorality and greed. She said, what? See? This is why you got to sing to yourself sometimes to keep yourself sane and not angry. You got to sing to yourself. Tonight's gonna be Is she black? Let's see. Because what she's saying is black people are sexual, immoral, and greedy. I mean, look, I'm open for correction, y'all. Maybe I'm reading this the wrong way. She said, if a black Jesus came back, some people will be excited until he started preaching about sexual immorality and greed. Well, we know the white people wouldn't be excited. We know the Asians wouldn't be. We know it would be us. He looks like us. He's coming to save us. The greatest figure of humanity looks like us. So we will be happy until he started preaching about sexual immorality and greed. So that's how you view black people? Let's see if she's white or black. She's black? I don't have Twitter. Oh, she's black. I got a feeling. Whoo, that tonight's gonna be. I'm gonna have that song stuck in y'all's head for the rest of the night. That's crazy, man. Black people, man, they really make you want to slap the dog shit out of them. That's messed up. That self-hatred. That self-hatred. She's a black. She's a BLACC. She's a bootlegging ass coon Christian. Let's just be real here. By the time he offends abortion providers by saying God hates hands that shed innocent blood and rebukes Americans for our covetousness, he'd be called a bigoted coon and thoroughly canceled, she said. Well, why isn't anybody else getting canceled like him? It's just the Israelites. I can't even say what I want to say on here. Our main channel just got taken down. They threatened me with 2 strikes the other day. So I'm with you there. That's not just his message, though. That's not the ultimate message. Because if that's the case, every Christian should be getting canceled. Every Christian does not condemn what you just said here. That should say, come as you are, do what you want, go and sin more. His grace is sufficient for you. Look at this, man. Okay, I'm not gonna read the rest of this. All right, y'all. We reached my 2-hour mark. I'll open it up for some questions, comments, and smoke. I'll open it up for some questions, comments, and smoke. Let's get to it. Can you shine some light on the new 2/3 breakdown? Good question. So certain Israelites think that the 1/3, 2/3 is in America. But when you read Zechariah 13, just read the whole chapter. It says in the land. It's talking about the land of Israel. So Israelites will be gathered via chariots of God, according to Ezekiel chapter 20, be brought back to the wilderness, which is in the land. And there, the 1/3 will be crowned and the 2/3 will be destroyed there. Third tribe, yes. Sakari's new main channel is Sakari HQ. We'll be going live on there Friday. Go subscribe. Does the battle of Gog and Magog and Armageddon happen at the same time? No. Well, around the same time. Around the same time. They're going to fight each other. They're going to come together to fight against the Messiah and the Israelites. Then they're going to be destroyed. Eating fat and drinking blood is symbolic of conquering. When you read Ezekiel 39. We will try to upload the new videos, Lord willing, on that new channel. My bad. Those here in America will die here in America. Revelation 11 says that. So just wait for the full breakdown. Those here, according to 2/3, 1/3, those here in America, because it says everybody in America is going to die if you're not the elect. So through the rest of the world, they are going to get gathered up and destroyed. But that breakdown will be on the main channel in the coming weeks here with thorough precepts and exegetical breakdowns. All right, y'all, let's end this by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh. We do so by Hashem HaMashiach Yahushua. Hit that like button on the way out, y'all, and Shalom.